Hello everybody, I hope I'm coming out across to you guys very clear. Probably not. There's been something wrong with my front camera's microphone for a little while. What I'm going to show you guys is probably the largest collection update I have ever done. There is so much stuff here. So instead of stalling, we are just going to get right into it. I know you can see my glorious face. So there's a lot of Blu-rays this go around. First, of course, I'm going to talk about some new releases. Let's see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these I saw in theaters. They are rewatches. One of them is another rewatch, although it premiered on Amazon Prime, and the rest are all new. We have the Blu-ray digital copy combo pack of A Journal for Jordan. Saw this in theaters. Actually saw this a couple weeks early, which I was happy for because that Christmas season, that lineup, there was just like a lot of stuff coming out. And I was like, if I can see at least one of those movies early, I'll be fine. I actually ended up seeing 2 of them early, and they were the 2 that were released on Christmas Day, this and American Underdog. So it really lightened the load for me. I really enjoyed this movie. I know this got some mixed reviews, and I can kind of see why. It's a bit of a jumbled kind of movie. There are some really cool features on the disc, though, so if you have the movie, or if you are a fan of it, you're going to want to get the Blu-ray, because it is worth it. Then we have American Siege on Blu-ray. Sorry if I'm a little too close. There we go. I got my blinking on. I'm so comfortable. This is the first Bruce Willis film of 2022. This was fine. Just your standard, decent action, direct-to-VOD movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. Nothing more, nothing less. This was the one that aired on Amazon Prime, and as you can see, the slipcover is a bit dinged up, but I don't care too much. This is the Blu-ray of Coming to America. I really don't like that title. But I'm happy that this is at least on Blu-ray, because it was awkward with at least the first one being out on physical media and the second one not at all. But I'm glad they were like, no, we're going to put this on Blu-ray. This was a fun movie. I do enjoy the first movie. See, I'm not a huge fan of the first movie like a lot of people are. I guess it's one of those ones that you kind of have to grow up with. Excuse me. But I enjoyed the first movie for what it was, because I sat down to watch it for the first time last year right before this came out. And this is a good movie. Not a whole lot of extras on here, but what you do get is pretty solid. Then I was one of 15 people to see this in a movie theater. I actually, it was, I had seen this right after West Side Story, which we'll get to here in a few minutes. And it was at a theater, it was at a Regal that, like, virtually almost nobody goes to unless there's a big movie. But I was in one of the smaller theaters, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm going to be the only one in here. And it made sense because it wasn't the big title out that week, and it was at 10 o'clock at night. I didn't realize that that was how most of this run was going to go for this movie, and that is the Blu-ray Digital Code combo pack of National Champions. I'm surprised the financial failure of this movie isn't talked about as much. I guess because the movie's budget's under $10 million, it really didn't matter. But I'm not sure if people knew this was out. This movie opened with $300,000, left with just under $500,000. In the States, that means like theaters were like tumbleweeds where this was playing. And that's a shame. I know this movie was not advertised very much. I got one trailer for it, and that was it. And that's a shame, because this is a really, really good movie. It is, it's all about Stephen James. He is this football player for, I think it's a college league. Yes, the College Football National Championship game. He is that's about to happen, and right before the game, he's very upset because he and his teammates have not been getting paid nearly as much as the coaches and everything. So he tweets out, "We're not playing this game until we get what we're owed," and that causes this huge like domino effect. And it is really, really a very good movie. I wish this one I wish this one would get a little more attention because it is such a really good movie. But yeah, it's awesome. And I think the reason why it flopped, and it wasn't due to like the slate of films coming out, well, possibly because it was released the week of West Side Story, but also Spider-Man was coming out that week, and they're like, yeah, we don't need this movie playing in our theater because it's not nobody's seeing it. So it's a shame. I figure if they released this like maybe during Thanksgiving weekend, because it is a football-related movie, that would have done a little bit more business. Then we have one of the biggest financial failures of last year, and that is the Blu-ray DVD digital code combo pack of The Matrix Resurrections. Really solid movie. I still prefer the first film over all of the sequels. Really good special features to this too, like packed with extras. As I've said on Let's Go Thrifting, the first act of this movie was fantastic because it really kind of makes you think, was the Matrix real? Was it all of it inside of his head? But once the movie kind of makes that turning point where it's like, well, no, it is real, then I was just like, all right, well, then that's kind of eh. But I'll go along for the ride. And it wasn't a bad ride. This movie is really long. It's 2 hours and 28 minutes. But still, I really enjoyed this one. I just got to revisit the other ones. Okay, we now have my pick for the absolute best film of 2021. It's from A24 and Lionsgate. I have the one sheet for it right here. I have two one sheets. Thank you, Austin. It is the Blu-ray digital copy combo pack of Red Rocket. I loved this movie so much. This movie I saw right after Licorice Pizza, which is weird because both movies kind of have a similar story element, and that's the fact that it involves a romance with someone who is an adult and someone who is not an adult. In Licorice Pizza, which is the only movie in my entire life that I've ever downgraded. Like, I reviewed the movie, I liked it after I watched it, and I gave it 3 stars, but the more I thought about it, the less I liked it. And it was because of that element that we have Alana Hayim, who is a 25-year-old woman, going after Cooper Hoffman, who is a 15-year-old boy, and the movie celebrating that fact. And that is really not... That and the incredible racist Asian angle that is going on in that movie. I really don't that's done for no reason. But anyway... so it kind of just really left a sour taste. This has Simon Rex, who's in like his mid to late 30s, going after Susanna Son, who is about to turn 18 in this movie. The reason why I am more appreciative of this movie is because this movie, not only with this, but it is actively discouraging Simon Rex's character throughout the entire thing. They're like, he's a scam artist, he's a wheeler and dealer type, he's a smooth talker, but he can't back up a lot of his stuff because he's just thinking for himself in the long run. And that ends up getting him into a lot of trouble. And this is really just such a fantastic movie. I actually had to look up because I had to look up after the movie to make sure, because I know a major studio wouldn't do this, but this Susanna Son, she looks really young in the movie, and there's nudity involving her in the movie, so I had to look up what her age was, and she's 26, so I'm like, okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, this is an absolutely fantastic movie. Excellent use of NSYNC in this movie, by the way. Really, really cool. I love this movie to death. Simon Rex is phenomenal. Susanna Son is phenomenal. Everybody in this movie is just, you need to see this. And Sean Baker directed Tangerine, which I have yet to see, but he has also directed The Florida Project, which is awesome. He has like a niche genre of film, and whatever genre it is that I have yet to coin, he's excelling in it right now. So then we have the Blu-ray digital code combo pack of another one of last year's biggest financial failures, which was kind of a shock to me. The remake of West Side Story. Fantastic movie, although this is really weird. I've never had this happen to me. When I was revisiting the movie, I was kind of enjoying it not as much as I was in the theaters. I was kind of looking at it like, I remember that being a lot better in the theaters. Like, you know what I mean? Still a really terrific remake. Absolutely fantastic. Again, Disney doing this thing where even though it says in the big rating box down below that it contains smoking, it also has to put this content advisory on. I don't know when all of a sudden people started, like, shaming smoking. Smoking is legal. You are allowed to smoke cigarettes. It's bad for the kids. Well, the content advisories you're putting the movies on, or you're putting on the movies, are movies that kids aren't going to watch. They're not going to watch this or Summer of Soul. They're not going to understand it. So, you know, but it is a great movie. This has a lot of fantastic features. Just awesome. I really love this movie. I think it's as good, definitely as good as the original, maybe even a tad better. Then we have the Blu-ray digital code combo pack of Nightmare Alley, another flop from last year. But this is also a really good movie. It's not as, like, out there as Guillermo del Toro's other movies are. This is very much a straightforward neo-noir movie, but it's a really good one at that. I really like that one. Then this was one that was playing at a Regal near me. It's the theater that is kind of close to where I work. But I didn't see it because I had no idea what it was, and I thought it was a special event movie that Fandango was putting on, and I tend to skip those because with Regal Unlimited, Fandango doesn't allow you to use your Regal Unlimited. They're like, no, you have to pay like $17 to get in, and that's literally how much they charge. So I said, no, I'll skip it. But then when I found out it was a Lionsgate title, I was like, maybe it wasn't a special event movie. And that is the Blu-ray digital copy combo pack of For the Love of Money. My mind, every time I see this title and every time I read it, goes immediately to the Bone Thugs song. For the Love of Money. Which they never play in here. They play the other one. Pretty decent movie. I actually would have enjoyed seeing this in theaters. I imagine I probably would have been the only one in there. But basically, Carrie Hilson is this mother, the single mother. Her child is in private school. A fight ends up breaking out, and she's struggling to make ends meet. So she decides she's going to get into the drug business, and you can see where that's going to head right there. You have a fantastic cast in here. You also have Rotimi, you have Jason Mitchell, DC Youngfly, Keith Sweat, Cat Williams, a lot of really good people in this movie. I recommend this. It wasn't fantastic. There were certainly some flaws, but it was a decent enough movie for me to go, yeah, this one's at least worth a one-time watch. Then we have the Blu-ray DVD digital code combo pack of Marry Me. This movie came out to Blu-ray about 6 weeks after its theatrical release. Universal seems to be doing that a lot with their releases this year. They're going to do that with The Northman. The movie that has been in theaters for 2 weeks is coming to Blu-ray the first Tuesday of June. So look for that in a couple months. By the way, The Northman's awesome. This is a really great movie. I know a lot of people are kind of mixed with this. It's a fairy tale movie, and I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of this. Really good extra features on this. This is just a nice comfort movie. Sitting down, laying in bed with your heated blanket, and you're just watching the story unfold. Really, really good movie. Highly recommend this one. And the last of the new releases for this month comes to us from Lionsgate and Grindstone, and it is the Blu-ray digital copy combo pack of Pursuit with Emile Hirsch and John Cusack. This is one of the best so bad it's good movies I've ever seen. From a technical standpoint, everything about this movie is terrible, but it made me laugh so hard. As best as I can explain it, because it does get complicated, and it shouldn't, Emile Hirsch is this master hacker who delivers every single one of his lines and performs every one of his mannerisms as if there is something wrong with him. And it is not mentioned at all whether he has a mental impairment or ailment or something, but it comes across, it comes across like that. Ridiculous action sequences. He is a computer hacker. His wife has ended up disappearing, and he wants to basically get to the bottom of who took her. Teams up with this cop played by Jake Manville, and Manville is a cop who lost his wife too. His wife was thrown over a balcony, and in order for him to cope with that, he is constantly looking over the balcony in which his wife was thrown off of. John Cusack is in the movie too, periodically, whenever he decides he feels like it. So this movie is absolutely nuts. It is complete trash, but it's trash that I couldn't help but enjoy. Go into the movie expecting to laugh. Do not go into it thinking you're going to get a straight-laced action thriller. There is a scene after a shootout in that movie, and it happens at the very beginning. Emile Hirsch gets in his getaway car, and he says to the driver, "You can drive now, if you like." I cackled. Now we have the rest of the Blu-rays, and we have a lot. Up first, from Dollar Tree, picked up 3 movies. We have Arrival, the Blu-ray digital HD combo pack. I remember seeing this one in theaters and not really liking this. This is the only Denis Villeneuve movie that I've seen that I wasn't too big on, but I've been wanting to revisit that one. And then anime. I've actually been wanting to get more anime, specifically movies, not really into like anime series. But we have The Sky Crawlers. This is apparently from the director of Ghost in the Shell? Yes, this is from Mamoru Oshii, the world-acclaimed director of Ghost in the Shell. This cover art looks awesome. Every day could be your last. Live life like there's no tomorrow. And it's from Sony, so it should be really good. And then from G-Kids, we have the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of some movie called Satellite Girl and Milk Cow. This looks really cute. It's 81 minutes, so it can't be that bad. And then I found this brand new factory sealed. I opened it up, obviously, for $2 at a thrift store. Value World, actually. Value World is actually next door to a bar called the 5 O'Clock Lounge. And a couple nights ago, I was going there for the Fun Mill drop-off party, and I had some time to kill, so I'm like, well, I'll go in there and see if they added anything new, because I was just there the previous week for the show. And they had this, and I've been looking for this. This is the Blu-ray DVD Digital Code Combo Pack Multi-Screen Edition. I'm so happy they stopped doing that. Of Celebrating Mickey. Really, really cool compilation of 13 classic Mickey Mouse cartoons. Awesome. Then, these 5 came from Menards, and I'm really happy with what I found. These are all Mill Creek releases, the Mill Creek VHS line releases. We have Krull, a movie I have never seen, but I've heard a lot about. Journey into a Mystical Time, where a horrible beast is the ruler. Nice. This, I actually just picked up on VHS, and then, like, the month after I picked it up, Mill Creek was like, hey, we're going to put it on Blu-ray for the first time, because it's never been on DVD or Blu-ray. I'm like, sweet. But I found it for $4.99. Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain, with Christina Ricci and Anna Chlumsky. Still have not seen this. Then we have Marlon Brando and Matthew Broderick in The Freshman. I don't really like that cover art as much. I like that more. From what I assume, it's about taking care of an alligator, a Komodo dragon. But these two, especially the last one, Blind Fury. So excited to see this. He may be blind, but he don't need no dog. Oh, God. I can't wait to watch this. I do have this on DVD. However, the DVD that I have is a double feature, and it comes with another Rutger Hauer movie called Omega Doom. I've been looking for this movie for a long time because I've heard so many people love it. The Legend of Billie Jean. This is the Fair is Fair special edition with a new commentary track. This, I cannot wait to sit down and watch. Apparently, from what I understand, this movie is all about someone who rescues a stolen bicycle. I could be wildly off about that, but come on. I hate it when the artwork gives me a problem not lining up. Best I can get it. But very, very excited to check this one out. Alright, now on to some other Blu-rays. Yes, a lot more. We have the Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo pack of Apollo 18. Picked this up at Savers where they, for some reason, had 2 copies of this. This replaces the DVD that I bought in that Horror 4-pack. However, I don't have those other ones on Blu-ray, so I gotta keep it. Happily Never After. I am told this is horrible. I've been wanting to see it, though, for that reason. This is in widescreen. The reason why I have never picked this up is because I always find it in full screen. Not dealing with that. Then we have the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Out of Africa. This is an upgrade from DVD. Kino Lorber release of Burt Lancaster in I Walk Alone. Looks really, really cool. Midnight Cowboy. Found this at a thrift store for 90 cents. Pretty cool. I'll save that Blu-ray for last because that's awesome. Then we have the Blu-ray, digital HD combo pack of Vendetta with Big Show and Dean Cain. The Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo pack of Big Mamas Like Father Like Son. Spoiler alert, I did get the whole trilogy because why not? Accident Man with Scott Adkins, really good movie. I picked this up at Big Lots because I want all of his movies. Then we have 3 Disney Blu-rays because people are getting rid of their Disney media like no tomorrow because of Disney Plus, and that's a no-no. You shouldn't do that because I should say these are the unedited versions. I believe most of them are the unedited versions. Disney has a history with altering stuff. But we have the Blu-ray DVD 70th Anniversary Edition of Dumbo, classic movie. The special edition of Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure. Don't have the first one on Blu-ray, but I do have it on DVD, so there you go. And then The Fox and the Hound and The Fox and the Hound 2. Awesome. Really, really. I have not seen any of these, so really, really cool. This I found for 90 cents at Volunteers of America. I honestly could not believe it. I saw it initially like this, and I said, that's a steelbook, but I pulled it out because I thought it was a steelbook for a game, because I do actually tend to come across a couple steelbook games while I'm out thrifting. They're for the usual stuff, like a Battlefield from a couple years ago or an NFL game. Then I looked and I saw the cover and I was like, wait, what? And I looked at the back, which had the title, because the spine doesn't have the title, and I said, if this is what I think it is, and I opened it up and it had the discs in it, this is El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. 90 cents for a Blu-ray steelbook. I couldn't believe that. Now, I have not seen Breaking Bad. I don't own a single piece of Breaking Bad in my collection, except for this. And I'm not going to watch this until I sit down and watch the series, because this takes place directly after. So, really, really awesome that I found this. Horrible that it doesn't have anything on the side. But when I come across it in my collection, I'll go, oh, that's El Camino. So that's just the Blu-rays. That's just the Blu-rays. DVDs we're going to save for a little bit. I want to go through some of the other stuff. So we have some VHS goodness right here. Go through these pretty quickly. Teenage hero returns 20 years later as the guardian angel of his own son in The Heavenly Kid. This looks cheesy. I cannot wait to watch this. Hansel and Gretel. This looks absolutely terrifying. And this is a children's film. Can't wait to watch that. It's got Taylor Momsen in it. Love her in The Grinch. And, of course, The Pretty Reckless. Double Dragon. I cannot believe I found this. I've been looking for a copy for this movie. It does have... excuse me. I don't know if you can see it. It does have a little bit of mold on it, but nothing that's going to damage it. I can easily get in there and just kind of flick it off. Really, really cool. Then, I had no idea that The Inspectors, that I picked up a couple months ago, has a sequel. The Inspectors 2, A Shred of Evidence. These are available on DVD, but the fact that I'm finding out about them through VHS is awesome to me. This one has, there's going to be Michael Madsen in it. Getting Even with Dad is a movie I've wanted to see for a while. This looks awesome. Some cops are above the law. One cop is bringing them down. C. Thomas Howell in To Protect and Serve. This looks right up my alley. Right up my alley. I cannot wait to watch this one. Ray Liotta in No Escape. Actually been on the hunt for this because this movie takes place in 2022. Came out in '94. So I'm going to watch this sometime this year. And finally, we have this is something I had in my collection a while ago. I gave it away and now I have it back. This is, there's an address on here, so I'm going to cover it up. Oscar's Greatest Moments, 1971 to 1991. I used to have this in my collection. This is when I learned about the Sacheen Littlefeather thing, when Marlon Brando refused the Best Actor award for The Godfather, and he sent Sacheen Littlefeather in protest. That was my first exposure to that. I thought that was pretty kick-ass that he did that. I can't remember if that talks about the infamous '89 broadcast. I'm pretty sure it does. Then, we got CDs. We got a lot. We're going to go through these pretty quick. Whoa. As long as they don't fall. Okay. Soundtrack to Natural Born Killers. Already have this on my phone. Wanted it for collecting purposes. This was $1, so how could I pass that up? The soundtrack to Have Plenty. The soundtrack to Drive Me Crazy. The soundtrack to Trippin'. The soundtrack to Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Really great movie. Really good soundtrack, too. Yeah. Really, really underrated album. AC/DC Back in Black. This is a classic album. One of my all-time favorite albums. Soundtrack to Cocktail. The soundtrack to Beverly Hills Cop 2. The only one of these that I did not have the soundtrack to. This has Shakedown by Bob Seger. Need I say more? You're busted. Soundtrack to The Bodyguard. According to a lot of lists, this is apparently the best-selling soundtrack of all time. Guarantee it's for that one song. The soundtrack to Hardball, really good soundtrack. I really enjoy this one. The soundtrack to Little Big League, haven't gotten a chance to listen to that one. Live from SNL, music performances. This is from like '07. It has Avril Lavigne performing Girlfriend on it. Yeah, I did that. It also has Foo Fighters performing Best of You. Rest in peace, Taylor. Pink performing Trouble. A couple other people on here. Jacob, I know you're watching. Save Me by Dave Matthews. They do perform on this album. I am not a Dave Matthews fan. He, however, really enjoys them, and to each their own. So if you want a live performance from them, since they are a jam band, be on the lookout for this album. But yeah, can't complain. This I've been looking for years. This is the soundtrack to The Flintstones, the music from Bedrock. Great movie. Never listened to the soundtrack. This I found for super cheap. I don't know what is going on with Death Row Records. Ever since Snoop bought it out, he took a lot of Death Row's labels stuff off of Apple Music, except for the Tupac stuff. And he took off the soundtracks to Gridlocked, Gang Related, and Above the Rim. So for pretty cheap, I got this. It regulates one of the greatest rap songs ever. But I got this. I don't know what he's doing. He took Doggy Style and the Dogfather off there, and he took Dre's The Chronic off of there. I really don't know what he's doing, but that's why I'm a purveyor of physical media. Just in case something happens, I have a backup. Soundtrack to Daredevil, pretty edgy soundtrack. I did listen to this pretty recently. Good stuff on here, like Evanescence's Bring Me to Life and My Immortal. Also, Bleed For Me by Saliva is on here, and that is awesome. Soundtrack to Kill Bill Volume 1, still need Volume 2. The soundtrack to Snatch. The soundtrack to Tank Girl, a movie I have not yet seen. I keep thinking I've seen this one. I haven't. This one I've seen, though, the soundtrack to Sugar and Spice. This is a really underrated movie about these high school cheerleaders that moonlight as bank robbers. It's a really stupid but really good movie. The soundtrack to The Queens of Comedy. I ordered this and the soundtrack to Held Up, which is actually still brand new, factory sealed. I paid $2.50 for it, not $17.99 or $16.99. I got this because I had an Amazon gift card. Thank you, Eric, by the way, because I was a judge in the Cleveland International Kids Film Festival. I got like a book that you'll see here and a new release with it as well. But yeah, two soundtracks I really wanted. The Queens of Comedy soundtrack is exactly set up like is set up exactly like the original Kings of Comedy soundtrack, which does make sense. The soundtrack to Freddy vs. Jason, you cannot get the entire soundtrack on Apple Music, which pisses the shit out of me. Either have the whole thing or don't have it at all. The soundtrack to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Afro Man, The Good Times, pretty much the only album I listened to by him. I've listened to all of his other stuff, and it's really not that great. But this has his best stuff on here. The soundtrack to Phenomenon, I've never seen this movie. This has Eric Clapton. I'm not an Eric Clapton fan. Peter Gabriel. This does have Jewel, and it does have Marvin Gaye, so we're getting somewhere. Man of the Woods by Justin Timberlake. I picked this up last weekend on the show. I completely forgot that this album even happened, and I really enjoyed the album too. This is the only JT album I do not have physically, so now I have them all. Soundtrack to Playing by Heart. Yep. The soundtrack to Free Willy. This has Michael Jackson with Will You Be There. I've never seen Free Willy. I have a passing interest in watching it. Who else? New Kids on the Block is on here. Alright, so it's 12 tracks. 6 of them are actual, like, artist tracks, and then the other half is a score. So, alright, I can get down with that. The soundtrack to The Devil's Rejects. Again, Apple Music does not have the whole thing. This is what really irritates me. It has most of it. It doesn't have all of them together. And the explicit version doesn't have the audio clips from the movie. So, this is also a dual disc. The other side is a DVD that comes with the making of the movie and a couple other little goodies. Also just wanted this because it's my favorite horror movie of all time. I gotta have the soundtrack to it. Soundtrack to Little Nicky. Again, this is the biggest insult. They have 2 or 3 tracks from this. They're like, oh yeah, click on the album, we have it. Psych, we have a quarter of it. Get wrecked. The soundtrack to Bringing Down the House. Wonderland. Mission Impossible. The first two Mission Impossible movies were the only two to have soundtracks done for them. Bride of Chucky. Well, I mean like actual artist soundtracks. Really cool. And then Pokemon, the first movie. I believe you can get the score to this on Apple Music, but not the one with the actual artists. And look at this. It actually comes with a pretty cool poster. I have seen Pokemon, the first movie. I remember not being too thrilled by it because I was a child and anime was not exciting to me. Before we get into the massive amount of DVDs, I did buy a board game, the Sopranos trivia game. Complete. This came out in 2004, so I think right as the fourth season was airing. Now I can test my knowledge. Where does Tony Soprano live? New Jersey, obviously. Oh, know your mob speak. Okay, I'm going to cover up the answer because the answer is right here. The word Stugotz means A, masculine courage, B, spicy meatballs, or C, a man with no brains. Stugotz that means stupid. Actually, no. It means masculine courage, and I was very confident when I answered that, too. Very cool. Very, very cool. We are going to fly through these DVDs. There's a massive amount of them because I found them super cheap at thrift stores. The only DVD new release I have is Invincible from Lionsgate and Grindstone, and this was just okay. That's all I gotta say about it. Where do I start? Give me this one. Like I said, I'm going to go through these as quickly as I can because there's just too many of them. Mill Creek, Combat Classics. There's 50 movies in there. You can pause to read all of them if you like. I am not reading every single one of those. Elimination Game. Punch Drunk Love. Replacing a VHS copy because I have not seen this. Lake Placid. I have got to get a different DVD of this. I didn't realize. Normally I check. This thing is scratched up really badly. I did play it through a DVD player, and it played pretty fine, so we will see. If a Man Answers, Metal Blade Records, Digital Video Destruction, basically a metal sampler. This has stuff from As I Lay Dying, 6 Feet Under, Cannibal Corpse, oh. Yeah, it should be alright. A Knight's Tale, replacing a VHS copy as well. I'll save that because it's a group of stuff. Pathology. Catch That Kid. My one coworker tells me I need to see this, so I picked it up for that. Dunstan Checks In. I remember watching that a couple times as a kid. That's a fun one. Ring Around the Rosie. Haunted Castle, originally presented in IMAX theaters. Darkness Falls. The remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this time the one with features. I messed up and got the one that didn't have features. Reindeer Games, the director's cut, finally replacing my VHS copy, which is the theatrical cut. I've been looking for this purely because I wanted the director's cut. I love this documentary. Dixie Chicks, now known just as the Chicks, Shut Up and Sing. Fantastic documentary. Alright, put that aside right there. Shanghai Nights. I have seen this. I really enjoy it. I have not seen the first one, Shanghai Noon, but I need to get that. Speed Dating. Chingy. That's why I got it. Jailhouse Rock with Elvis. This looks great. I can't wait to watch this. The Parent Trap 2 movie set. This comes with the Parent Trap and the Parent Trap 2. Parent Trap 2, these are the originals. And I do have the remake. Parent Trap 2 was a made-for-TV movie. What I don't understand is why Disney just didn't make this a 4-movie set and add the other 2 movies on here, because there is a Parent Trap 3 and 4 that were also made-for-TV movies. What's up with that, Disney? The Peacemaker. She's All That, again replacing another VHS copy. That follow-up they did, He's All That, was garbage, but I went into it knowing that it was garbage. You would have much more fun going in and intentionally popping someone's full colostomy bag. Frequency, I keep hearing that this is a really good movie. I got to get around to watching that. Mad Money. Frida. Alright, how am I going to maneuver this so I have room? I guess... Nope. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start setting them up over here, and we're going to do a fun game called Hope for the Best. Alright, give me this pile. We have Fat Albert's Greatest Hits, the Ultimate Collection. This was factory sealed. Picked this up for super, super cheap, under $5. You cannot get anything done by Bill Cosby in circulation anymore. You have to go out and find it. And if you have to ask why, you're living under a rock. Tuning Mania, I did not pay $8 for this. I paid way less. Pretty much just 4 DVDs of tuning competitions. Sounds sweet. Alpha and Omega, the 8-movie collection. I can't believe they did 8 of these. This is ridiculous that I even have this. It was $5. The 4-film Lifetime movie collection. This comes with The Good Fight, The Rendering, The Haunting of Lisa, and Dangerous Evidence, the Laurie Jackson story. Michael Shane Mysteries Volume 1. This I picked up from a Goodwill. This other set I picked up a lot of stuff from Goodwill that I think somebody died and they gave away. This comes with Michael Shane, Private Detective, The Man Who Wouldn't Die, Sleepers West, and Blue, White, and Perfect. This is awesome. Science Fiction Classics, 6, technically 7 movie collection. This comes with The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, Forbidden Planet, Them, the original The Thing from Another World, The Time Machine, World Without End, and World Without End comes with a bonus movie, which is Satellite in the Sky. Really, really cool. This was $1. This was awesome. Don't Forget About Me, the 4-movie set from Mill Creek. The Freshman, No Small Affair, Fresh Horses, and Immediate Family. The 98 Godzilla, Waitress, 3 Men and a Baby, and 3 Men and a Little Lady. This is also from Goodwill. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The French Connection, The Hustler, and MASH. All, by the way, on their own discs. The original Citizen Kane. I have never seen this. I have to get around to watching this. MGM, When the Lion Roars, if I can hold it up. This is a documentary that I have technically twice over, but not on its own. The First Deadly Sin, I believe Bruce Willis's film debut. He plays a juror in this. Mr. Wong, Detective, 6 movies. Mr. Wong Detective, The Mystery of Mr. Wong in Chinatown, The Fatal Hour, Doomed to Die, and Phantom of Chinatown. Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai. The Greatest Story Ever Told. I regret picking this up because you'll see in a little bit why. The Phantom Creeps, the complete 4-hour serial on 1 disc. Big Mama's House 1 and 2. Cinema Classics. The Hunter. Apollo 13, also an upgrade from the other DVD copy that I have. This actually comes with the IMAX cut of the movie as well, which is really, really cool. Impulse. Mr. Nice Guy. Splash. The Reckoning. Crime Spree. Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking Too. The Cry of the Owl. Right at Your Door. Sour Grapes. Oh, this is a nightmare. Bear with me, guys. Into the Abyss, A Tale of Death, A Tale of Life. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, look at that. I think that'll work. Will it? Won't? We'll see. This is a confusingly titled set because it's called this was $2. This was John Wayne's Suspense Collection, presented by Batjack Productions. John Wayne's not in any of these. This comes with Ring of Fear, Track of the Cat, Plunder of the Sun, and Man in the Vault. These are 4 Paramount, noir movies, which is really cool. Very confusingly titled set. Happily Never After 2, Snow White, Another Bite at the Apple. I'm told this is atrocious, so obviously I had to get it. Bait Shop, Federal Protection, Fallen Angels, The Greatest Story Ever Told. This is the 2-disc edition. The other one I picked up was a 1-disc edition. I'll just give the other one away to someone. They were both $1, so. The Dove 8-film collection. Almost Partners, The Canterville Ghost, Hector's Bunyip, Conrad, The Treasure of the Painted Forest, Taking Care of Terrific, The Last Warhorse, and Message in a Cell Phone. First Shot. Triple feature of Long Time Dead, My Little Eye, and Hood Rat. 50 Shades of Irresistible. There are 6 Harlequin Cinemax movies on there. Beverly Hills Chihuahua. There's 4 movies set here that comes with Getting Gotti, Innocent Victims, The Innocent Sleep, and The Vernon Johns Story. Diplomatic Siege and Ground Control double feature. Debt Collectors on DVD. I didn't know they did a DVD release of this because I watched it on Netflix. Really solid sequel to the first movie. I really enjoyed both of these. I hope they do another one. Yeah, I really do. Liberty Stands Still, the screener DVD. 88 minutes. This movie runs 107 minutes, so that's a frickin' lie. Under Oath. This 10-movie kids set. I'm not going to list off everyone in there, but it does come with The Thief and the Cobbler. Look up the history on that. And The Never-Ending Story 3. 4 film favorites. Romance. The Goodbye Girl, Forget Paris, Her Alibi, and Best Friends. Honky Tonk Man, Pink Cadillac, and the reason why I bought this, City Heat. Smosh the movie. I have no interest in thinking that this is going to be a good movie. Steve Austin is in it, and I needed that for that. Plain and simple, brother. Alright, now I have enough room to finish this off, I believe. Alrighty. The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, and Clear and Present Danger. The Sci-Fi Boys, really good documentary. Moving Targets. Locker 13. Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2. So that means I now need to get the third one. The Pursuit of Happiness, horrible joke, I know. Who's Your Caddy? According to the makers of The Hangover, this is Bill Clinton's favorite comedy. They had a sit-down dinner with him, or lunch, and he said that this was his favorite comedy. Barefoot in the Park. Gooby. You Got Served. Codename The Cleaner. Goosebumps, Welcome to Dead House. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Fearless Hyena, Just My Luck, which comes with a bonus disc in there as well, from Target. Anaconda, Johnson Family Vacation, Speak, excellent movie, must-see movie, must-read book, because that's a great book too. Gigi, Wes Craven Presents They, White Coats, Joan of Arc with Lily Sobieski, Desperate Hours, The Very Thought of You, and then these are the ones that I kept putting aside because they are all a part of the After Dark Horror Fest series. We have The Hamiltons, Wicked Little Things, which has Chloe Grace Moretz in there. That's pretty cool. The unrated director's cut of Borderland, Penny Dreadful, The Broken, and The Abandoned. I do not know if any of those are good or not. Finally, for DVDs, we have my tiny little stack from Dollar Tree. Bab, Don't Let Him In, Monster Family 2, have the first one, gotta have the second one. Animal Among Us, I got the Hookup 2, actually very happy to find this, it's awesome. White Tea, Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation, Rising Stars, The Manson Family Massacre, when did this come out? 2019, nice. Pistolera, The Barge People, Blood, Sweat, and Terrors, Mossad, The Nightingale, really happy to get that, and Satanic Panic. I'm not calling it Panic. I'm not filing this under Panic. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they had to do that because certain stores were like, well, it says Satan on it. Really? Have you seen the clientele that are walking through your doors? And then for $6.50, yes, $6.50, the complete series of Sex and the City on DVD. Now, I'm very happy to have this. It has all 6 seasons. It feels nice. It also has both movies on DVD, which is fine. I have both movies on Blu-ray. Packaging for this is atrocious. So much so that I'm actually going to head up to one of my local exchanges and get actual like DVD keeper cases and take these out and put them in because this is horrible packaging. I don't necessarily have a problem with sleeve packaging. The problem is, found a good example right here. The discs are packaged in there so tight that you literally have to grip them and pull them, yank them out. And that is not good because you are going to either damage the disc or outright break the frickin' thing entirely. So whoever designed this for HBO is terrible. This is horrible packaging. You should not have done this. Books, and then I'm out. Sounds good to me. I'm surrounded. I am surrounded. Oh, if those would have fallen, I would have been so mad. I would have been just so annoyed. Okay. We have NYPD Red 2 by James Patterson. Sleep with the Angels by Robert L. Bolton and Russ Massara. I know, I'm going out of frame. Life with Billy by Brian Valet. The true story, more shocking than The Burning Red. That's a true crime book. Another true crime book, And Never Let Her Go, Thomas Capano, The Deadly Seducer by Anne Rule. Another true crime book, When Satan Wore a Cross by Fred Rosen, the shocking true story of a killer priest. Billy Bathgate by E.L. Doctorow. Victims by Dorothy Unhock. The Klansman by William Bradford Huey. That looks so vintage. Look at that cover. Curfew by Phil Rickman. Another true crime book, Blind Faith by Joe McGinnis. This is very vintage. Elizabeth by Dick Shepard. The Life and Career of Elizabeth Taylor. This goes up to 1974. So, Dark Side of the Street by Jack Higgins. True crime book, Working Vice, the true story of Lieutenant Lucy J. Duvall, America's First Woman Vice Squad Chief by Tamar Hassansky and Pat Sparling. Cleveland. Had to get it. The Lesson of Her Death by Jeffrey Wild Deaver. Duma Key by Stephen King. Always pick up anything Stephen King. He's always welcome here. The Cardinal Virtues by Andrew M. Greeley. Precinct 19 by Thomas Larry Adcock. This is actually a non-fiction book. So really cool. Love You to Death by Shannon K. Butcher. The Devil to Play by Ellery Queen. Look at this cover. Why is she holding monkey? This is, it's actually one of those toy symbol monkeys. When was this published? 73? Okay, so this was copywritten in 1937, renewed in 66. That's vintage. The Crystal Crow by Joan Aiken. Dark Lost by Mick Farren. The Throat by Peter Straub. Throat. Michael Crichton's Sphere. Hidden Passions, Secrets from the Diaries of Tabitha Lennox. Ooh. I'm such an idiot, I swear. Inside Out by John Ramsey Miller. Frank Sinatra, My Father by Nancy Sinatra. The Cross Killer by Marcel Montesino. The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. A Flame in Byzantium by Chelsea Quinn Yarborough. Look at that cover art. That's awesome. Humans Bow Down by James Patterson. Another Stephen King with 11/22/63. Worse Than Death by Sherry Gottlieb. The Arrangement by Elia Kazan. The Negotiator by Frederick Forsyth. I'm not sure if the Sam Jackson movie is adapted from this. I will have to look into that. Torn by Chris Jordan and Fletch Reflected by Gregory McDonald. Now on to the last of the books. These are like the non-paperbacks. This is awesome cover art. We have Richard Ayoade presents The Grip of Film by Gordy LaSure. Look at that cover art. Look at how shiny it is. You slug the guy, you kiss the dame, you total the car. That's movies, and I love them. So it has like sections in here. Let's look up Pain. Nope, let's not. Nope. Shaking Hands. Heroes very rarely agree to shake hands and almost never air kiss, and yet despite their lack of civility, we cheer them on. This is because the hero acts as we wish we could and not as we actually do. We don't want to touch people's puffy hands. We don't want some asshole's clammy cheek barreling towards us in smug expectation. We don't want to endure the humiliation of saving or of having our outstretched arm pivoted back into our chest for a hip-hop hug from a 45-year-old. And yet, we allow these violations every day of our shriveled lives. Do you think Jason Statham would put up with this bullshit? That's why we love him. Oh my god. I can't wait to read that. Then, this is awesome. Reservoir Dogs and True Romance. 2 screenplays by Quentin Tarantino. 2 of my top... Well, Reservoir Dogs is in my top 20, but True Romance is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. So that's awesome. Dear Bully, 70 authors tell their stories. This is the book I ordered with my gift card. This is The Devil Cinema by Steve Lillibuen. This is a true crime book that I have not been able to find, but I saw a video on it. They call him the Dexter Killer. This is all about an independent filmmaker from Canada who murdered someone. And he wrote a manifesto called Serial Killer Confessions, and it starts with the line that's actually right here. This is the story of my progression into becoming a serial killer. I really, really want to read this. Then we have some Elmore Leonard here. Actually, 2 novels with the same character, Raylan and Pronto. Timothy Oliphant's character in Justified. Gone Baby Gone by Dennis Lehane. Ringmaster by Jerry Springer. 2 more here, guys, and then I'm done. Yes, I'm done. Family Guy, Peter Griffin's Guide to the Holidays. What's in here? Christmas presents. Little known fact, Ebenezer Scrooge's slow descent into madness began when he accidentally shot his business partner Bob Marley while they were both extremely high on a week-long ganja binge. Say no to drugs. And then finally we have Bunko by Robin de Lennox, a comedy about the drama of friendship. It's a big book, all in script format. Was this a play? Was this supposed to be a play or a movie? It can't have been a movie or a play. It's extremely long to be either of those. But really cool. No, I am not broke. Despite all of this, I still pay my bills. So, and I still save a little scratch on the side. But yeah, it's a lot. This is a lot. So I'll see you all later.